Well, hi there. Thanks for visiting Bella's Vistas. Please like and subscribe. Well, we stopped in Arnold's Cove to pick up some groceries and get ready. Now we're driving through Placentia Bay. We stop at the fortress at Castle Hill. Had a little tour through there. Now we've got to go over this lift bridge. We've got to stop and wait here for the bridge to go, and then we can drive along, and we're going to go all along Placentia Bay and head towards Cape St. Mary's. It's going to be a pretty interesting drive. Well, we're just eating up the highway right now. Like, time lapse really helps, but when you're going along at real time, it's pretty bumpy and pretty slow. You can get an idea of the fog once in a while that we're going to be going through. See lots of fog. Here we go. Now we're getting close. We're very near Cape St. Mary's, and the GPS tells us it's on the left. Thank goodness for the GPS, because we wouldn't have seen it through the fog. Some campers are already here, and this road is really rough, and there's some pretty amazing roller coaster bumps. 2 or 3 that you want to go pretty slow over them. But this fog, it doesn't last usually. Sometimes it does, but I'm hoping it's going to burn off for us. So I find a nice place to park, trying to figure out which way the wind is going to be blowing so I can face the van into the wind. Now it's foggy, and I get out to the bird rock and I get some of the early shots of the birds. The autofocusing on the OM1 is just working great. I mean, it's focusing right through the fog. I'm getting some shots on the wing, close-up head shots, just fantastic pictures. This bird really put on a show for me. Now I'm looking at the sky is clearing off. Look at this, what a beautiful morning we've got. I got out here, I was the first one out at the rock, and I got some shots looking back. This is the path. I'm walking down the path here. Is kind of rough and bumpy. Now, when I first came here in 1972, we were able to drive right out and get a look at the rock in the distance, but we didn't walk all the way out to the point. I didn't know that much about it then. I've learned a lot more about this bird sanctuary since then. Now, you're supposed to stay right between these stakes, but I'm going to maybe walk over just a little bit closer to the edge to show you what we're up against. Look at there, we're getting close. There's a defibrillator and some stuff in a box at the side of the trail at one point, and warnings about slippery rocks and whatnot. This is a natural trail. It hasn't been paved over or anything like that. This is pretty much the way it developed, and I really appreciate this. I like it this way. If you had a 4-lane highway coming down to the bird rocks, I mean, it would just ruin everything. It's nice that you're walking right beside the edge there. Look at there, right? You can see the edge. You don't want to fall off that edge either. It's quite a little ways down to the water. Be a rocky tumbling. There, look at all the birds. Gives you some idea of what all's going on here. If you haven't been, I really recommend it. It's a great place. To me, it's a wonder of the world. There's a little bird on the way in. Here you can see the crew is all set up. There's lots of long glass down there, I tell you. Everybody's set up for long shots. So am I, though. I'm packing some pretty good gear too. Look at this bird. This one, I talked to the person from the park, and I said, "Is this guy working for you?" And she said, "Oh yeah, he puts on a good performance." He was like dancing around on the rock there, getting the bright sun on him too. Now you'll see lots of action here. Some of the birds have one chick. I believe they only have one chick per family, and they feed them and look after them. You can see them walking around. And what I tried to get pictures of was pictures of birds carrying grass for a nest. You can see a bird sitting on the nest there. And I do believe a little further on here I've got one with a chick underneath of it. There you go. There's the chick right there, moving around under the mother. Mother has to keep it safe so it doesn't fall off or get hurt. Keep it warm too, I guess, because it gets really windy here. There's some other birds here, some gulls and whatnot. These blackbirds, some of them are called bridle. They have a little eye thing, a little ring around their eye. don't know that much about birds. I suppose I should learn if I'm going to photograph birds. There's one on the nest. Look at that. Mom and Dad cooing and billing there, and the little baby preening itself. This is one of the foremost bird sanctuaries in the world. I think it's second only to one in Montreal, if I remember correctly what people were telling me. Look at there, it's protecting its baby from the other family. Very interesting antics here. There's the nesting material. Bird is flying it in. Just a reconnaissance flight there, I guess. The focusing just really hit right on the birds. It was working perfectly here for the most part. You're not going to get every shot, but I got most of them, and I was really happy with the way it worked. There you got one coming in for a landing. He's got the flaps down and he's landing with a load of grass for the nest. Look at those eyes, eh? They've got to have sharp vision, I'm sure of it. Little bit of an overview. I shot some video once in a while to show how many birds there are, because there are lots of them. There's no shortage of birds here. Look at this, wow. The interpretation center is up to the front there. I said to some of the people, you know, we have to wait for the interpreters to come so we can find out what the birds are saying, and they laughed politely. I met some really nice people here too, because people that are here, they're here to study nature, and they're interested in conservation and preserving wildlife and keeping nature for future generations. So everybody's pretty much like-minded. I've found in the bird community that the people are all conservationists. They're like-minded and very friendly people and helpful. They told me things about the birds that I didn't know. There was a group there from Chicago that had an instructor with them, and they were taking pictures. Great fella, nice to talk to. One of the ladies had the 600mm Sony f4 lens. That's pretty big. Kind of comes in a golf bag. Here, wow, there's one of the birds. I tried to get the contrast between the dark rocks and the white bird, so I had to adjust the exposure a couple stops to keep the bird from going too white. I think it worked very well. The birds always take off into the wind, so if you can have the sun and the wind coming from the same direction and you stand in the right place, you're going to get some nice shots. Here I tried to get the birds against the stormy water, and I think I did fairly well with it. There's the lighthouse off in the distance. I shot some with the super long lens, but it was just so shaky. So thanks for visiting Bella's Vistas. Please like, subscribe. Come on back again real soon.